What's up, everyone? Welcome to House Groups. My name's Benny. I am super excited that you guys are joining us, especially because we are in a brand new series called The Door. And since we're talking about, the door, let's talk about one of the most important doors, the bathroom door. Because, that's a pretty important door, because have you ever walked in on someone in the bathroom? Is there anything more terrifying? Because you walk in, and all of a sudden you make eye contact with the person. And you're staring deeply into each other's eyes, and then you're frozen in fear. And then your brain's telling yourself, run, 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 but you can't move. Well, hopefully you finally do, and you run away, and you never talk to that person again. But what if you're on the other side of that? Because, that's pretty terrible. You're caught with your pants down. You can't run away. Well, at least I hope you don't. But what about single-use bathrooms? Now, those are nice, right? It's private, it's comfy, it's relaxing, but what happens when someone knocks on the door? I don't know what it is, but when someone knocks on that bathroom door, our brain shuts down, we lose all common sense, and we end up shouting something like, in here doing something. The weirdest stuff comes out of our mouths on that. So when I approach one of those doors, which I hate when they're closed, I approach it like a ninja. I sneak up there, I lightly touch the handle, and if it's locked, I run away. Because there's nothing more terrifying than being in the bathroom, enjoying your private time, and then you hear the handle jiggle. It just really ruins everything. Now, what about in multi-stall bathrooms? It's 2020-something. Why have we not closed those cracks in between the stall door and the walls? Like, why is that not a thing? Because, we've all had it happen. You're in there doing your business, and then the sinks are always in front of you for some reason. Well, someone goes to wash their hands, and as they look up, you make eye contact with the person through a crack that, is useless. But that's enough about bathroom doors. We're talking about all doors. Now, Jim Morrison from the band The Doors actually said this in the late 60s. He said, there are things known and things unknown, and then in between are the doors. There are things known and things unknown, and in between are the doors. Now, that's pretty wise hippie mumbo jumbo, and I can say that because I used to be really into that hippie mumbo jumbo. But we're always trying to explain the things we don't know. But in Hebrews, we have a definition for that. And it says, faith is the confidence in what we hope for. It's the evidence of things we cannot see. So we have to have faith for those things that we cannot see. What do we have faith in? Because there are so many different routes that we can take. When you Google how many gods there are, you get 246 million results. There have been anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000 gods worshipped since the beginning of time. So how do we know which one to pick, right? Well, just pick one, they'll all go to the same place, just like all drains go to the same ocean. But that's not exactly true. Because if they were all true and if they all ended up in the same place, then they wouldn't contradict one another. So what do you believe? Well, maybe you create your own gods. You create your own idols, and that could be relationships, that could be school, that could be sports, that could be money, that could be a variety of things. And that's what we often do. We create idols in our lives, and that's what we search for. And we spend all our time, all our energy searching for that. But most of the time, we get to a point in our life where, we find out it wasn't worth it. So a lot of us will just settle for good enough. All we have to do in life is be good enough. If I'm good enough, then I should go to heaven, right? Or I should go wherever it is you go after you die. Well, I'm better than that person, so that's good enough for me. I just have to be better than them. But that's not very helpful. Because when we settle for good enough, well, then we really never do anything worthwhile. We're just going through the motions. We don't feel like we have any purpose. And well, that goes against everything we were created for. Because we all have that sense of longing. We all have that sense that we're missing something in life. That's because we're all craving relationship. And because we're all craving relationship, sometimes we put our focus on others. And we spend all our time focusing on that relationship that, well, we still are never fulfilled. And we all have this craving for purpose. So that's why we chase money, we chase sports, we chase whatever feels good because we're trying to fill that hole. But it turns out, if we're not following our purpose, well, then we'll never be satisfied. See, because we're all searching for that one door, and that's the God door. But how do we get to God? Well, Jesus says it this way in John chapter 10, verse 7 through 10. He said to the people, I tell you the truth, I am the gate for the sheep. All who came before me were thieves and robbers, but the true sheep did not listen to them. Yes, I am the gate. Those who come in through me will be saved. They will come and go freely and find good pastures. The thief's purpose is to steal and kill and destroy. My purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. Now, during this day and time, Jesus is trying to relate to the people through a shepherding metaphor, which they would all have been very comfortable with. But most of us, other than if we're Scott Johnson, we don't really understand what he's saying. But by this, he's saying that he is the shepherd. And the shepherd looks after its sheep. It takes care of them. And if the shepherd's purpose is to take care of them, well, then he's going to lead them to pasture. And pasture is safety. It's food. It's security. And he says he is the gate. He is the only gate which the sheep can go through to get pasture. So Jesus is saying that he is the entrance. He is the door. That if we want safety or security or our needs met, well, then we need to go through him. We need to go through him because he's the only way to God. Because if you want your daily needs to be provided for, well, then you go through Jesus. If you want safety, you go through Jesus. If you want security, you go through Jesus. If you want to live a life full of purpose, well, then you have to go through Jesus. Because later on in Scripture, we find out that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And we're going to be breaking that down over the next several weeks as we get into what that truly means. So, but for now, we're going to go into small groups, and we're going to talk about how Jesus is that door. And, well, maybe you know that Jesus is the door, that you've had that plan to follow him. But maybe you made that plan to follow him eventually. Because you want to have your fun now, and then you'll get serious, and you'll do what's right. Well, maybe you know that Jesus is the door, and you've made that commitment, but you're still not sure, well, really what that looks like. What are you supposed to be doing? Or maybe you've just been walking through doors. You've just been walking through any door that comes your way. I know that feeling. I walked through a lot of doors. I closed a lot of doors, and other doors I wish they had been locked. Because we keep pursuing all these doors, hoping to find something. And maybe that's you. Maybe you're searching for something, but you're just not sure what it is. Well, we can't wait to have that conversation with you. I hope you guys have a wonderful small group time. Can't wait to see you next.